Hey, loves, how are y'all doing on this lovely Sunday? So, I hope y'all ready to get some clarity when it comes to failure. Today, we are going to be talking about why most entrepreneurs feel like a failure. Okay, so most entrepreneurs, first off, they don't even realize that the things and the symptoms that they are displaying are, signs, or symptoms from failure. You, and it comes from simply not having clarity. And we're going to go into that today. So, from this video right here, you can expect to learn ways to help you overcome your failures, especially for new entrepreneurs, ways or reasons why you are experiencing feeling like you are a failure. Okay. And if you don't know me, my name is Queen A, the Clarity Coach. Before we move any further, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. All right. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about overcoming self doubt. All right. And what exactly does all that entail, especially when it comes to new entrepreneurs? And most importantly, why do most entrepreneurs feel like they're a failure? I mean, why is it? Most people can't even tell you. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because it's something that's near and dear to me. So, the first thing I want to start off with is the reason why most entrepreneurs experience a high level of feeling like a failure, or most people in general, is because they're overwhelmed with choices. Okay. So you got to understand, and this is for anybody out there. So this is for a new entrepreneur, a experienced entrepreneur, a senior entrepreneur, or if you're a individual in general, and everybody is an individual. So this is for everyone. Okay. So clarity narrows your focus. So when you don't have no clarity, that means that your focus is wide. You're all over the place. And the most things, especially with new entrepreneurs, that they seem to talk about is where they're going to be in the future and what happened in the past and why they might not get there and things of that nature. But we're going to help you talk about, why you can be in the now and focus on the now and what you can get done today. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And that's why most people feel like they're a failure. You have to understand that too many options cause confusion and doubt. Too many options. Think about that for a second. And especially when you're a new entrepreneur, you start thinking about, oh man, I got to get my EIN, my LLC, and I got to create this course, or I got to, create these cupcakes, or whatever it may be, right? And then after I do that, I got to ship them. And you're thinking about too many things at one time. So you got to understand that by achieving clarity, you can narrow down your choices to those that truly matter for your entrepreneurial journey. Now, why did I say those that truly matter? First off, I want y'all to understand this right here is that not all choices matter. Not everything that you have to do matters in this moment right here. So you have to distinguish and understand which things that you need to focus on now and which things you need to focus on later. And most of us can't seem to understand, well, what's the things that I need to focus on now? So if you're a new entrepreneur or you're an individual in general, what can you change today? So if you're saying like, I need to get my EIN, my LLC, I need to bake these cupcakes, I need to ship them, and I need after that, and then I need to come up with a pricing and a system. But what can you do today? Can you apply for your EIN? It's free. It's totally free. You can go ahead and get that today. That'll take a headache off. But we have to understand these are things that we have to learn how to do. So what can you do in the now, in the today, not the tomorrow? Because as you know, Queen A, what I talk about tomorrow, what? It don't ever come. Tomorrow don't ever come. So remember that. It don't ever come. All right. So I just want y'all to understand that part right there, that tomorrow, it just don't ever come. It don't. So you got to focus on the now, and which is why most people, they get lost because they don't know how to focus on the now. They want to focus on, well, what I got to do tomorrow, and for the next 10 years, what I'm going to be doing the next 10 years. So I want you to understand this right here. First things first is focus on the now. Find something now. What do you need to do now? Maybe now something as simple as, well, maybe now I need to drink more water. Maybe that's something you need to focus on. Maybe now I need to focus on getting up maybe just a few minutes earlier. Maybe that's something you can focus on right now. But I need you to figure out, what can you focus on now? Okay? So y'all see I'm washing. So I was gonna turn my background out because I see it's blurry, but I'm washing. So I had my pillow right here. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna put my pillow to the side. Let's see. Take it out so y'all can see me clear. Let me see. Let's do this real quick. I really want y'all to see me. All right. And put it right there like this. Y'all can't don't really pay no attention to my bed. I'm washing. So I'm in the process of washing. Okay. But no. But I really want y'all to understand this right here. And the thing is that as a new entrepreneur, you have to focus on now. So what can you do right now? Stop focusing on what happened in the past. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe you registered or you had another business and it failed. It wasn't successful. Maybe you applied for a loan and you didn't get it. Maybe or maybe you're a nonprofit, right? Because I'm a for-profit. Maybe you're a nonprofit and you're working on grants and you're like, I just don't understand why I can't get this done. Well, that was the past. What can you do now for them things? What can you do now for that? Now, the only thing you can do is what? Recreate. Okay, well, I know if I didn't get the grant, and that's what I'm really focused on doing, well, then instead of me dwelling on why I didn't get it, I already know why I didn't get it. Let me dwell on, okay, well, how can I fix that so I can get it next time? And this go back to, like I said, this is for everybody. So even individuals. So if you're an individual, right, and just a person in general, and you're looking to like, well, maybe I'm trying to apply for a better job. And only thing you keep focusing on, well, every time I keep applying, they're denying me. Because I want y'all to understand, everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. And that is okay. So if you're somebody like, like every time I keep applying, they keep denying me. Or every time, I want to go up for a new position, they keep denying me and I can't understand why. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you can do now. Meaning if you keep applying and you keep going for a position, because that means that you want more money, more than likely. People only apply for a higher positions because they want more money. And that company is not giving it to you, then maybe you look at, okay, maybe I'm not a great fit here. Maybe, I'm not as experienced as the people here. So maybe I move along and go somewhere else where my experience does align and I can get paid what I'm looking for. Or let me try at another company where I'll maybe align and I can move up. But if you've been in the same position for years and you're complaining, then the question becomes, what can you do now? See, the reason why most of us feel like a failure because we thinking broad. So let's go back to what we was talking about, right? We was talking about focusing on the now. And the first way to do that is, y'all got to understand, is we have most people, individuals nowadays, they lack clear goals. If you're lacking clarity on your goals, where are you going? Because clarity sets what? Precise goals. You got to understand that clarity sets precise goals when you're clear. So no clear goals, what? Make progress feel impossible. Achieving clarity helps you outline specific goals, guiding every step and fostering a sense of what? Decision in your entrepreneurial journey. Now, just think about this for a second. If you are one of them people and you're like, oh, you don't have no clear goals, and maybe you think you do. Maybe you like, you know what, in the next 5 years, this is where I got goals on being here in the next 5 years, and then I got goals on, eventually, I'm gonna do my EIN, LLC, and this and that. But you don't have no date. Meaning, what is the date that you're going to apply for your EIN? Put it on your calendar. If it's, let me explain something for you. Rule of thumb: if it's not on your calendar, it won't get done. And this is even for individuals. Start putting things on your calendar, especially nowadays. If it's not on your calendar, it won't get done. That's why most of us feel like a failure, because we have great ideas in our head. We have things that pop up. Have you ever had something that pop up and you like, oh, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna definitely do that. But you don't write it down, or you don't take note of it, or you don't act on it right then and there. So what starts happening? Do y'all know what happens? Most of the time, what happens is what? We forget all about it. We don't do the thing, but we then later we think like, man, it was something I wanted to do, but you can't remember what it was that you wanted to create. You can't remember what it was you wanted to act upon. So now, since you can't remember what the exact thing was, guess what? Now you frustrated. Now that opens your mind to what? Broad. Now your focus is broadened. Instead of focusing in and honing in on that one thing, now you're thinking, man, what was I thinking? Was it this? Was it that? Oh man, I gotta start writing it down. I gotta start doing this. This is all things that's going through your head. And that's why most of individuals feel like a failure, especially nowadays, because nobody is having clear goals. Everybody's goal nowadays is getting to a bag. But if I was to ask people specifically, how are you going to get to a bag? They can't tell you. Well, you know what? I'm gonna bake uh some cupcakes, and or I'm gonna do hair, or whatever the case may be. But my thing is for you is, well, okay, you baking cupcakes, but when are you gonna bake cupcakes? When? How many cupcakes are you gonna bake? But these are things that you gotta have clarity on. You gotta understand them things even for that. So I want y'all to understand, this is why most individuals in general feel like a failure, because they don't have no clear goals. And what it say right here? If you don't have no clear goals, what? It makes progress feel impossible, because you don't know where you're going. You all over the place. So let me just tell y'all a little story about for a second. So for me, I didn't have no clear goals when I first started doing this. I knew I wanted to be a coach. I didn't know. I knew I wanted to speak and inspire people. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to speak on. I just knew, you know what, I want to uplift people. I want to inspire everybody. That was my thing. But you know what happened? I started getting stuck when people start asking me specific questions. Well, what is it that I specifically help them with? What is it that I specifically teach on? What kind of coach am I? Am I a coach, or am I a speaker? Am I both? What am I speaking on when I do speak? So it forced me to be all over the place. And what happened was, every time it was time for me to create something, guess what happened? I felt stuck. And even worse, most people don't even know, I had a gun put to my head 4 times. I had a gun put to my head on 4 different occasions. Y'all talking about somebody lacking clear goals. I had a gun put to my head on 4 different occasions. I didn't know where I was going. I felt lost. I felt like a failure. I felt like I did something wrong. Even though the purpose, 2 of the people that pulled the guns out on me was people that said they loved me. It was crazy. So it eventually led me to not even understanding how to love. And I ain't talking about everybody else, how to love myself. Like, you let me understand how to love myself. Because it's like, okay, well, if I keep running into this type of individual, it ain't always them. The common denominator is me. So let me work on me. So I want y'all to understand this applies to everything. I had goals, yes, you know what? I had goals of, you know what, I want to be that wife, and I want to be goals to be with somebody for the like, let's say we've been together for 60 years. That's my goal. With kids and and our kids grow up and their parents still together. That was my goal. That was my goal. I just knew that's what I wanted. I was focusing on the future, but I wasn't seeing that what the now was showing me. And that's what most of us we do. We look at the big picture, but we don't see what right now is showing us. I didn't see that what I was focusing on, like, okay, I want to be a wife. I want to do this. I want to, all this good stuff. I wasn't seeing what was right in front of me was detrimental. It was horrible for my mental health. It was horrible for my physical health. It was horrible all the way around in the situation. And I'm not saying that I was, like the best person in the situation because I had my faults as well. But what I will say is I had to gain clarity. And once I gained that clarity, so most people failing because guess what? This right here, they lacking clear goals. So if you feeling like a failure, one of the first things you can do is get clear on where you're going. Get clear on your goals. Get clear on that. But most people scared to. They scared to get clear on who they are and they goals. So now y'all gotta understand this as well. That unclear value. Clarity defines your unique value. Now, remember before when I said we was talking about get clarity on your goals. But if you talk to Queen A, or if you ever heard me speak, one thing I always talk about is in order for you to get clarity on your goals, what? You have to understand your values. Your values. Clarity defines your unique value. But what I can ask 5 people, what do they value? And they would probably have to think for a minute before they really tell me what they value. Or most people would say, you know what everybody's answer is because something that they constantly hear. I value my kids. I value my family. I value my kids and family and freedom. Them are the 3 things that you will hear most people say that they value. But I want you to understand this. Uncertainty about your value proposition leads to low confidence. Let me read that again. Uncertainty about your value proposition leads to low confidence. So, by establishing clarity, guess what you do? You can articulate your strengths and differentiate yourself in the market effectively. So you gotta understand what it say, uncertainty about your value proposition leads to low confidence. Most of y'all don't even know what y'all value proposition is because you don't even know what you value yourself. Only thing you know is I value family, I value freedom, and I value my kids. That's what most people value. Them simple 3 things. But I want y'all to understand, as we can clearly see, if you look around, that's not enough. So I just give you a example of some of Queen A's values, right? So I value confidence. I value having confidence. I value choices, right? Making the correct choices, understanding what choices to make, how to make choices. I understand I value, apologize. I value active listening. So one of the things that I'm learning to do is what? Be quiet, shut my mouth, and listen more. Is it harder? Yes. But is it needed? Yes. That's how I receive clarity on who the person is that I'm talking to. By just shutting my mouth and letting them talk. I value respect. I value overcoming failures. I value learning how to walk with your fears. I value love. loving yourself. So these are things that I value. So I ask you, what do you value? Because as we can see, most people don't have a lot of, they don't really value too much, which is why we're having the issues that we're having. And if you think I'm lying for a second, if you think I'm lying for a second, just look around at how many people, when something is wrong, people pulling out their phones. When if they really value respect, if they really value love, if they really value community, positive choices, things of this nature, active listening. Instead of people pulling their phones out, people will help. But it seems like the days of help is gone. Why? Because people don't have clear values on who they are. Most people they don't value respect. They think they do, but then they wonder why they're not getting respect. And this is especially even in the eyes of an entrepreneur. You have to learn how to be respectful when you are out there trying to partner with individuals, when you're out there networking. But if respect is not something you value, it'll come across. People can read energy very well. People know if you're pretending like you're respectful. I see it all the time. So that's one of the things that I want y'all to really understand right there and get clear on is your values. What do you value? If you don't know what you value, then guess what? I don't either. And I can tell you right now, if you don't know what you value, then let me tell you this right here. If you don't know what you value, how do people know how to treat you? If you don't know what you value, you don't know what your principles is, you don't know what your goals is, you don't know what your morals are. How do I know? And how do anybody else know? So most of us is wondering why we're feeling like a failure because you're not getting clear on who you are. And this, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, get clear on who you are and watch how fast failure no longer, it's not going to interfere with you. Now, does that mean that everything you try, everything you apply for, everything you do is going to magically happen ASAP? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I will tell you, if you continue to work on your values, your principles, and your goals and your morals, and you start understanding who you are, things will start lining up. Yes, it'll start lining up. It will. I can tell you that. Okay. Now, I want y'all to understand this right here. This right here is so important. Unlocking your potential. Stop being scared. Most people feel like a failure because they simply just won't be like Nike and just do it. Walk into that jungle. That's why I love lions, because lions will walk into the den knowing that it's a chance they might not come out. But they do it strategically. And that's how you do. Walk and unlock your potential. So first, like we talked about, get clear on your goals. I can tell you right now, if you're feeling like a failure, the area that you're feeling like a failure in, you don't have no clarity in that area somewhere. I can guarantee it. How do I know? Because I deal with companies all the time. And now, guess what? I'm helping companies overcome these issues that they're having with their employees. I'm helping individuals overcome these issues that they're having with their self. And the first thing we talking about is getting clarity. Nobody's on the same page no more. That's why if you talk to you can talk to 5 different or even just 3 different managers at one business, they all will tell you something different. That's because there's no clarity there. You should be able to talk to all 3 managers, ask one question, and get the same response out of all of them. That's how you know you have clarity. But if I call and I ask 3 managers one question, the same question, and I'm getting 3 different answers, that means there's no clarity there. And that's why there are probably always aggravated people calling in. They frustrated. Oh my gosh. So this applies to everything. Get clarity on your values. What do you value? Do you even know what you value? Have you ever even thought about what do you value? Most people haven't. Most people haven't. All right. So this is how most people is right here. Just dreaming. But this ain't a dream. This is reality. So wake up. Can't nobody unlock your potential but you. So before we get off here tonight, I hope y'all got something from this. Remember, if you've been feeling like a failure in any area of your life, whether you're a new entrepreneur, a seasoned entrepreneur, right, a business, it don't matter who you are. And you know, if it's this, maybe it's just you personally, you feeling like a failure. This applies to you as well, especially if it's you as an individual feeling like a failure. Definitely look at your life and see in that area where you don't have clarity at. I can guarantee you it's somewhere in that area you don't have no clarity. Okay. So I hope y'all got something this before we move on. Make sure that y'all like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, if you want to dive deeper into this, my clarity and my clarity and confidence book, I was about to say the name of the webinar, is perfect for you. All right. And just simply comment clarity if you ready to go deeper and you tired of feeling like a failure, and grab that book. And if nobody else loves you, you already know Queen A does. And I apologize, y'all. Y'all had to see my bed over here. Y'all see my bed, my sheet off. I had my pillow right there first, so I'm in the process of washing. But either way it go, it's still Sunday, and I had to be on here. And most importantly, my apologies, I want to make sure that I was on here for you all, giving you the clarity that you need to understand how to not feel like a failure. You've been failing your whole life. And with that being said, on the flip side, you also been succeeding your whole life. All right. So I'm going to get on up out of here. My time is up. No, but if nobody else loves you, you already know Queen A does. Later. Mwah.